And there was this little girl on this tennis trip yesterday, and I was talking to her because I had been her bus driver for years, and I said, you should get into Bitcoin. And she says, well, what is Bitcoin? And so I started telling her about it. That hey, it's if you talk to your mom and dad, because you can't just tell the kids, come see me, I'll tell you all about it. I'll get your parents, and we'll all get together if you need to do this. And they live in a little trailer park, and they're not really that wealthy, or there's a lot of people that really don't. That $100,000 to them is like, I can't buy $100,000 Bitcoin. Well, you can just buy parts of Bitcoin. You put $50, $100, $5. So I was telling her all this, and she said that her parents had been giving her money all along, and she saved it. She had saved the money, all of it, didn't spend any of it. And she says, I got $2,000. I said, oh, wow, you got $2,000. That's pretty good. I said, you have it in the bank? And she says, no, it's in my drawer. I said, your drawer?
Wow.
I said, well, you know what? I admire the $2,000 from, that's great. I said, if I was your dad, I'd tell you to put it in Bitcoin, but, you talk to your dad. I said, but your money's going down all the time. It's not making you anything in a drawer. I said, even if you put it in the bank, it's really not making you anything either, because, the government keeps printing out the money, and the value of your money is going down all the time. You better do something with it. And so she's very interested. And so I told her, watch Michael Saylor, watch The Bitcoin Way, watch Simply Bitcoin, watch all these YouTube channels.
We bought our nieces and nephews some Bitcoin.
They weren't for it either until I did that.
I called Charlie, that's a 15-year-old little girl, and I said, Charlie, you know about Bitcoin? Uncle Steve, that's a scam. That's a scam, Uncle Steve. Stay away from Bitcoin. I said, oh, yeah? I said, it's a scam? I said, what if I told you I bought you some Bitcoin, you and your brother and your other nieces and nephews? She says, she says, well, did you? I said, yeah. I said, I'll send you a picture of it. It was $100. And she's like, oh, really? That's mine? I said, yeah, but you're not going to touch it. It's just, we're going to leave it there. Charlie and her little brother are running around teaching everybody about Bitcoin and how to get into Bitcoin. She says, they're really, really cute doing this. I said, well, show them this.